yourself. What is up, peeps? Welcome to the first edition of Topless Analysis. This is the second time I've said welcome to the first edition, but we'll just ignore that. There is, of course, a VOD of the real first edition of Topless Analysis on YouTube somewhere, but barring that, this is the first edition. The final first edition. How are you all doing? My name is Willem Itchy Legs Painter, and I am your host this evening. I got some great stuff in store for you guys. I'm going to be going over some cool strategy, talking about some stuff that's coming up, and I think I might be just playing some games for you guys, barring nothing exciting comes up in the middle of this broadcast. I've really been wanting to get this underway for such a long time. I'll put my water down. Yeah, I've been trying to fucking find someone to do this with me forever, man. I've always wanted to kind of host my own show and bring more StarCraft content to the community. And a few things fell through. I had Sam on here a bit, and he was fucking great. Great caster, really fun guy to hang with, but he's mad busy. My buddy Martin Boobsake was the initial co-caster for Topless Analysis, but that fell through. So, anyway, fuck it. Getting on with things. Announcements. World 3 Gaming Tournament, November 13th. You guys got to check this shit out. November 13th, it begins at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be casting it. It's hosted by this guy named Destroyed. Basically, I saw the thread on Team Liquid. He said he was looking for casters. I applied. He said, "Fuck yeah, man! I love your shit. Come do it." So I'm really excited about that. The thread the link for the thread on Team Liquid is on my Twitter at ToplessAnalysис. For those of you who have Twitter, who the fuck has Twitter? Nobody. Twitter's fucking gay. Anyway, and the show. That's all I have written down for announcements. Yeah. I wanted to talk about the show's title. The show's tittle. I posted a thread on Team Liquid called Topless Analysis, new show. And like within 20 minutes it had like 2,600 views. And you know it's just a bunch of guys sitting at home like fucking alt-tabbing or like switching between their tabs in their browser. Like one's at Spankwire, the other one's at Team Liquid. And they saw this thread pop up on the SC2 General and they were like, what the fuck is this? Like their pumping just slows right down and they're like, tits in StarCraft? Goes back into super speed. Unfortunately, I can't have tits on the show, which sucks because I fucking love tits. I love fucking mammary glands, the chesticles, the melons, big ones, small ones, round ones, perky ones, saggy ones, the big old saggers. I got no problem with that. Whatever kind of titties you want. I like them. Except for banana tits. Banana tits, and I have some objects here to demonstrate what I mean. Banana tits are the type of tits that, they look really nice. They're like perky and sexy when the girl has a shirt on and she's got a bra on and they're kept up nice and tight and maybe she's showing a bit of cleavage and you're like, nice titties. Nice titties. And then, you're expecting these really like firm, beautiful big tits and then she takes off her bra and it's like, sup? And you're like, whoa, fucking watch out for my eyes. I hate those kind of titties. I hate them. Okay, on with the show. So what I got for you guys today is something very, very exciting. Of course, the name analysis is intended to convey what the show is in essence going to be about, which is analyzing StarCraft 2 matches. And today we have a super awesome topic that I like to call DBB, for Dynamic Burrowed Banelings. And we are going to start today off with a game by one of my favorite players. I'm getting the game set up. Everybody's looking at me on camera like, what the fuck is he doing? He's not looking at me anymore. But I'm getting the game set up. I have it set up. I'm just trying to wiggle my way around. I hope that worked. I'm going to pray that it worked. It worked. Great. We have a game between Millennium Stefano and Imba Straylock. Two very well-known players. I'm sure everybody's heard of these guys. I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, however, that Stefano was really helping Straylock practice for a while there. I believe about a month and a half ago. So like shortly after patch 1.4 hit. Anyway, DBB, you're wondering, what the fuck is DBB? Dynamic Burrowed Banelings. A concept that a lot of new players, and I'm sure a lot of veterans and a lot of pros even, are not familiar with. Idra is someone who constantly does not incorporate burrowed banelings into his play, unless I'm mistaken. I've never seen him do it, especially not in the way that we're going to see Stefano do it here. So I'm going to start the game off. Let me know in chat if the music is too loud. Straylock over here saying, any ideas what I'm doing wrong? I believe they just played a game and Stefano won pretty convincingly. I'm sure it doesn't surprise anybody. Add one Thor. Right. Okay, if I remember correctly, and I do, Straylock wanted to practice because he had a match against Rhett, and Rhett plays a mass mutalisk style in ZVT. So Straylock was like, hey, Stefano, go for like a Rhett style, go for mass muta ling bling, so I can practice against this style, so I have a chance of beating Rhett. And Stefano's kind of explaining some of the tactics that you can use to successfully defend against Rhett's style, mass muta. But what Straylock doesn't know is that Stefano's really fucking good. Actually, I'm sure he knows that. I don't know why I said that. He definitely knows. Straylock knows. Everybody fucking knows Stefano's good. Stefano's the man. Okay, so 15 hatch. You can see here, the food is at 15. Super normal. He doesn't send out any scouting. He does a blind 15 hatch. Another player that's really famous for doing mass muta style is Don Regu, who fucking seems like the music's really loud. I'm gonna turn that down. Who does 10 scout. He goes for the extractor trick and sends out a drone, his 10th drone, every game. Just to get that super early drone scout, see if he's getting 2 racks. Every Zerg player hates the 11-11. So he's so standard. Oh man, the most standard of standard. I think this is 12 racks, 13 refinery, 16 or 15 orbital. Anyway, I'm going to speed this up, because this is shit that everybody should know. And if you don't know, I don't know, learn up. Normal, a little bit of harass. Hellions come out. I'll slow it a bit down for this, because this is kind of unusual. Notice how his spine crawler like roots just as the Hellions get there. This Stefano is so good. His timings are perfect, like every game. This is something that you will not see on ladder. This guy, he will take his Hellions and he will try to inflict as much damage as possible. It doesn't matter if he has 2, 4, 6, 25. He's going to be more active with them than Straylock is being right here. That's not the point that I want to get across. I believe that was just a reactor Hellion fast expand build. Standardest thing you will see on ladder. We missed Straylock forced to cancel on the spine crawler right here. Nothing too interesting. not doing anything, not doing any elevator drop tactics or anything really crazy. And you'll see Straylock going into a pretty much standard Marine, tank, medevac push. Sometimes on ladder you'll find... Sorry, I'll pause it. And this isn't exclusive to ladder. This is like Terran. This is a pretty normal Terran thing to do. Is at around this time, 10 minutes, you're going to see Terrans move out. If they kept these harassing Hellions alive, they're going to have them in their composition. But generally it's going to be 2 medevacs, 2 tanks with siege mode, and, you know, a handful of Marines. Straylock, since he kept these Hellions alive, he's going to go for a 3rd fast command center, put it down right here, and take a macro advantage. Because you can see here he's got Stefano contained on 2 bases. I don't know, I think most people will agree with me that Zergs tend to go for the 2 base, 3 hatch into Mutiling Bling. I think it's a safe way of getting that tech out. You can see Stefano adding that macro hatch in his main base. Getting his armor upgrade, which is something that Stefano does every time he plays against Terran, and he's not going his mass circling style. Everybody knows Stefano's mass circling style. Like, I'll probably do something on it maybe even later this week, because like I said, I love Stefano. But when he's playing this mass muta style, he gets his armor first just because he realizes how fragile Zerglings and Banelings are against tanks. When he does his mass Ling style, he gets 2 evolution chambers as opposed to 1, and throws down extraordinarily fast upgrades, gets the super quick hive. But anyway, I'll definitely do something on that. Just because, yeah, Day 9's probably done it. All the casters, whenever they talk about Stefano, talk about his mass Zergling against Terran style. But, like, so fucking what? It's so cool and it's so good that I might as well cover it. Anyway, back to the game. Super duper standard. Spire finishes, he gets +1. This is something that you would see Hydra do. Scan goes down, he sees, you know, Mutas just came out. This attack by Straylock gets thwarted pretty hard. And we're going to see Stefano just kind of poking around with his Mutas. He doesn't have very many of them, so he's mostly just going to kind of do the defensive Mutalisk style, where you just kind of poke and maybe try to deny drops. You're not going to throw them into these turrets. Maybe come around here, but you can see Straylock's pretty well covered. The only real open area is right here, and I don't recall Stefano really being too abusive with these Mutalisks. Working away on the rocks, blah blah blah. He takes this 3rd up here, which I think is a good idea. He lost a lot of Lings in that engagement. Now he has a ton of them, but he didn't get these rocks down in time to get this 3rd down at a time he wanted to, if that makes sense. That's kind of a convoluted way of saying that. Another thing you'll notice that kind of shows that Stefano, this isn't really his style. I mean, he's obviously still really good at playing it. His creep spread is really lackluster. But anyway, he's got a bit of an attack here. Going into the 3rd. Gonna do some damage, probably. Looks like Straylock has the 1-1, and Stefano's only got the armor upgrade, but he'll still be able to do some damage. Gets away before losing too many Mutalisks. Those 2 at the end there was kind of sloppy. Now getting the +1 melee. Starting his 4th hatch, migrating drones over to here, taking his 2 gases. If you're going this mass muta style, you need to get 6 gas. Like, there's no question about it. You need 6 gas in order to support constant Mutalisk production. And also, getting 6 gas allows you to do, like, a really deadly tech switch, which is something that you absolutely need to do against Terran, especially late game. If you're going Broodlore and they mass Vikings and you switch to Ultras, you, like, win. This is kind of getting scary. Straylock listening to Stefano's advice, getting that Thor, pushing out with a pretty scary force. Now you notice I haven't had the tab, the production tab or the income tab or anything open, but I really don't feel I need to. I think that everybody's seen games that are like this enough to the point where they kind of know where each player is at. This is a very bomber, MVP, Korean Terran type thing to do. Get 3 early command centers and basically stay alive while you macro. Go for drops, go for Marines with upgrades. I'm wondering how his upgrades are doing. He's about to finish his +2. I would have known that if I had the production tab open. But I'm a boss. I don't need the production tab. And picks off another drop. Very good. Well played, Stefano. Now, what time is it here? It's 16 minutes. Okay, this is where we get to the point I've been trying to make this whole time. Let's just watch what Stefano does here. Actually, sorry. Let's pause it. Not quite there yet. But I want to note something, and this is something that every Terran player should be doing. When you push out, when you're about to make this, like, generally this would be considered your second push. Your first one being at around 9 to 10 minutes with that 2-tank, whatever Hellions you saved, and a handful of Marines. In this case, he took that 3rd early command center, so this push is a bit delayed. But needless to say, this is his second push, and this is something that every Terran everywhere needs to do. Look at this spread. Huge spread. No tank is left unguarded. If Stefano were to come in here with his flock of Mutalisks, this one's a little bit exposed, but these ones, all of that is guarded by the Thor and Marines. These Marines are covered by this tank. This tank's covered by a ton of stuff. Now, check this out. We're watching Stefano's perspective. I'm going to slow this down so everybody catches it. Watch what he does right here. Did you catch it? Did anybody catch that? I'm going to rewind it and show you again. It's on normal. That's way slow. Starts his +2. Sees this huge amount of shit outside his front door. And he's like, I'm fucking going for it. Look at how slow-mo this is. Normal setting is the most epic StarCraft gets. Here, right there. Boom. Once more. I love this. Right there. You see it right here. He boxes that group of units, and he hits his R button. Now, he successfully thwarts this attack. He doesn't take too much damage from it. Now watch. Marines come. This pack of Marines is fucked. Back to normal speed. No banana tits. Just pure, epic, dynamic, burrowed banelings. We know what's coming. Those Marines are fucked. Yes! And look at that. He only grabbed 2 of them. He's still got 6, 7 left. Now, what he does, another point, when you're using dynamic burrowed banelings, this is like the most important part. Okay? He's like, okay, I took out a shit ton of Marines with 2 banelings. That's awesome. But then I've got these 7 left. And this pack of mutas. What should I do? I see a bajillion fucking Marines coming towards my mutas. How am I going to get rid of them? Easy peasy. Draw them over the burrowed banelings. Fuck yeah. So sick. There is nothing more sick than burrowed banelings. Burrowed banelings are the coolest shit in StarCraft. Burrowed banelings, in my opinion, make the ZVT matchup so much more fun to watch. If you have a player going burrowed banelings and the Terran walks over a bunch of them and loses a shitload of stuff, every time, every tournament, the crowd just goes nuts because it's fucking awesome. So kudos to Blizzard for allowing banelings to explode while underground. Now, the rest of this game kind of plays out, well, I'll just say Stefano loses. Which, yeah, it kind of sucks, but the Pink Power Ranger, he's not playing his own style, right? Gotta cut him some slack. I think this attack, if I were to do an analysis of this, if I wasn't just going to talk about the banelings, I would say that half of this should have been down here already. You should have already had half of this force, not the mutas, just half the ling bling around here, so that when he moves out, when he does this death push, he can flank. Easy peasy. Here it comes, here it comes. Here it comes, right there. Just grab a handful of your banelings when you move in to do that, you know, when you send the swarm forward. Excuse me, and burrow. And then use your mutalisks, draw packs of marines. If I had little arrows, I'd be drawing an arrow. Like, you move here, and then you move here, and then all these die. And trick your opponents. Lay 7 of them, and then only use 2 of them. That way you're getting even more cost efficient. So I actually have a little thing I want to do here. It's called pros, like as in pros and cons, of using burrowed banelings. Number 1, it's fucking awesome. This is self-explanatory. Number 2, it's extremely cost efficient. For Stefano to engage, let's say, a pack of, how many marines did he just kill? Something like 10 with 2 banelings? If you were to just run those banelings into the marines, they would of course just die or get kited or whatever. With 9 mutalisks and 2 banelings, you probably wouldn't have too much success against a group of 10, 12 marines. However, if they're burrowed and you use your mutas to draw the marines across, then you're going to get a nice bit of cost efficiency out of your units. Obviously, this is something that requires a pretty good deal of skill and attention to detail to be able to pull off. I don't think many players that are watching this right now can say, like, oh yeah, I use dynamic burrowed banelings all the time. Like, every time I engage a Terran, I'm burrowing stuff, or I'm burrowing banelings and making sure that I'm using my mutalisks to draw packs of marines across them in order to, you know, get the most out of my units. I don't think that this is a strategy that is very noob friendly. Excuse me, need a drinky poo. But I think that this is a strategy that is really good. Fuck, I just love watching this next part. Let's just in silence watch this. How many marines is that? Let's take it before and after count. 38 before. 21 after. 17 marines with a handful of mutalisks and a few banelings. If you were to engage that 38 marines with, like I just said, the previous example works exactly the same right there. It's just so fucking good. And another thing about burrowed banelings is they're sneaky. If you do it dynamically, which is the whole purpose of this topic, is you know, making sure that you're burrowing when you're pushing into the Terran, so that it's kind of covered. If you do it dynamically, it's really sneaky. It's something the Terran player is not going to expect. And if you throw a player off guard, if you throw them off their game, your chances of winning go up. Like the opposite of these, go up. Cool. So, that's about it for this game. Like I said, Stefano loses, which sucks, but what can you do? Unfortunately, I actually have to completely exit the game in order to load some of these replays. But I'm sure you guys don't care. Looking at my pretty face. What do you guys think of the toque? It's like certified Canadian. Toque and the little headset. I preemptively apologize for the quality of the sound. I understand that my voice is kind of not as good as you'd like. I'm getting a new headset. I can't say for sure when, but it's definitely going to happen at some point. Anyway, second game. I hope you all take note of the quality of video being substantially better in this recording than it has been in others. Actually, speaking of which, graphics, ultra. I should have had that set the whole time. I'm sorry. Oh man, so epic. Cool, so this is a game between Millennium Stefano and Select. Dignitas Select, who I'm sure, again, everybody's familiar with these players. And I'm sure, as well, in this game, Stefano goes for a 15 hatch, like every Zerg player should do against Terran. I'm going to speed it up here for the first bit of this game. Guys in chat, how fucking great are burrowed banelings? If you like burrowed banelings, press 1. I remember hanging out in the channel game time and everybody being like, press 1 for micro tournament. See, this is more of a Dong Regu type thing, sending a scout at like 14. Well, Dong Regu does it earlier, but you know what I mean. So in this game, you're going to see Select do his patented 3-bunker wall-in thing right here that every Zerg on ladder is so mad at Select for coming up with. This sucks. To have this actually happen to you is the worst feeling. Where you're like, fuck, he got it up. And then for your spine crawler to be in range of the Marines, or of the bunkers, is also really, really shitty. However, let's watch Stefano deal with this. Let's just go right to his perspective and see how he handles it. He's got his camera always over his natural expansion. He's like, okay, my spine's getting hit, I'm gonna move it. Poke it with my giraffe neck a bit. Get the fuck out of dodge. Cancels his second one, he knows it's going down, rethrows it. And he gets it in range. It's gonna take a second here. This is, I wish I could have caught that when it was rooted. But spines outrange bunkers, but only if you place them so that, like, that little white line, like the siege line or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the range line, it has to be like that fucking inside, like so tiny that it's really quite difficult to get. Otherwise, your spine will be in range of the bunker and you will lose it. Hatch. What's going to happen? Select is going to lose all his bunkers. Looks like yes, Select is going to lose. I hate that when you have that one burning bunker left, 10 Marines walking in. You're like, well, I can't really do much. Select kills all your stuff. Saves the Queen. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressively bad on Select's part. Now watch the siege line. Oh, we don't even get it in the replay? What? That is bullshit. Anyway, I guarantee he's got it like, you know, a sliver of the bunker is actually inside the range. Now he's got how many Zerglings? 18 to defend. For anybody watching BlizzCon, it takes. You guys will know that it takes 14 Zerglings to kill a bunker if they're attacking from all sides. So he lost his hatch, he remakes it. Game progresses pretty normally from here. I think most Zerg players would just kind of tap out at this point, but not Stefano. Come back into the everyone. Standardest thing in the world. 2 racks, bunker rush into expand. Obviously, Select went a little bit more all-in than most players, getting those 3 bunkers and delaying that command center pretty considerably. But, you know, I guess he feels that the damage he inflicts with this is good enough to warrant doing it. Goes down the double gas at 27 supply. Pretty early. and I'm going to speed this shit up, because this isn't what I want to talk about. But there, if you want a good example of how to stop that 3-bunker rush, there's a pretty good one. You just find queens and circles. Some city. Hellions can't come when I'm boosting. If this were ladder, you'd have like 10 Banshees right here, Blue Flame Hellions right here. Like, you know, so many Terrans on the ladder are so abusive. Okay, something I forgot in the last game that I'm going to point out this game is the burrow timing. I'm going to keep the production tab open for a minute. So he gets his nest actually when his spire is about halfway done, which I think is a little too late. I think you should be getting it when your lair is morphing, like when your lair is like maybe a fourth done. But I mean, he did lose this natural. You can't expect everybody to be perfect. Bane speed as soon as you get lair timing is really quite essential, especially if you're going for like a map Uteling style. Flex the drop. Cool. Easy peasy. 3 queens. Big deal. Okay, here. Take a look. 7 Mutalisks. He was, you know, he produced as many as his supply would allow. That's why he didn't use all his gas and all his minerals to just pump out 10 or 11. And then, what happens next? Burrow. He makes sure he gets those mutas out before he gets burrow. He doesn't invest in burrow before getting mutalisks. You have to note that timing. You want as much money as possible going into your... Sorry, as much gas as possible going into your mutalisks so that you can deal with this type of shit. You can deal with Banshees, you can deal with drops, you can go and inflict some damage on the Terran economy through harassment. You know, pick off a tank here or there. You need these mutalisks. If you're playing this style, you need them. As simple as that. Stops the third from going down. Very nice, very nice. Time from here. Okay, you'll notice the time in this game. Oh, fuck, excuse me. I'm drinking an energy drink and it's making me burp like crazy. So hopefully no one here is a prude and calls me out on... Writes in my thread like, I watched your show, but I didn't enjoy it very much. You were too gassy for my liking. Oh, sorry, bud. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Timing. You'll notice that when the DBB come into play, it's around the same time in this game as it was in the Straylock game. 16 minutes. I believe that the Burrow Banelings in the last game came at exactly 17 minutes. Because that's, like I said, the second Terran push. It's coming at around that time. Here come the Banelings. There goes a bit of an engagement. I don't think that was particularly good, and we missed it. There they go. Now this is kind of different than the last game because he wasn't necessarily right in the guy's face. He was attacking down here. I'll probably rewind it. But the Banelings were actually still morphing up by the tower. So, while he was doing it dynamically, as in he was engaged in combat with his opponent, it wasn't as sneaky as it was last game. And we'll see that this is why you want to do it when you're right in your opponent's face. You want to be putting those Banelings down when all your shit is right here. All your Zerglings, all your Banelings, all your Mutalisks are right here, killing his shit. Because now, when Fleck moves out, he's loading up a drop, he scans and he sees it. Of course he's going to scan the middle. It's fucking Shturis. He scans, he sees the burrowed Banelings, he's like, oh shit, I guess I'll have to go kill those. And then he does. Sorry, I know I'm pausing and unpausing frantically, but the whole purpose of DBB, let's go back to the pros of the DBB, is fucking awesome. Let's add something. Only if it connects. Let's put that in brackets. Because it's pretty much the most disappointing thing ever if You know, someone has burrowed banelings somewhere on the map, and like the casters are like, oh, he's got burrowed banelings. Will the Terran opponent step on those? You know, and the audience is like, oh, every time, and then a scan goes down and all the banelings die, and everybody's really disappointed. They're cost efficient. That was not cost efficient. If he had burrowed those like in Select's face when his army was right here and he engaged it and blah blah blah, and he had the banelings like right here, all this shit would be dead. That's how many Marines? Like 20? Banelings have a radius of 3, and there's no like. It's not like a tank. Like, the splash doesn't reduce on the edges of that radius. It's like they deal that 35 damage to light units, 39 with +1, wherever they are. If you're in range, if you're in free range of that baneling, you're going to get fucked up. Scan goes down, all the banelings die. Shitty. Cost efficiency out the window. Third, sneaky, throws opponent off. That isn't true if your opponent just kills them. I feel like sighing, because that was disappointing. So, I'm just going to hammer this point home. So we said the timing was about 17 minutes. That's, you know, when burrowed banelings come into play. It's about the 15-minute mark. Shave off a few minutes, depending on the extent of the early aggression of the Terran player. Mono engages. This is a really cool engagement. So I don't know why you throw it back at it. If he had waited, and that's awesome, I love seeing burrowed banelings, and, you know, had that flank coming at the same time as he was pushing with all those lings, and kind of gotten more into this area instead of being contained to here, and then burrowed the banelings, like, you know, this whole game would have been over right then. You kill 20 Marines with 3 banelings, you win. In this position where your third and your fourth just went down and you're, you know, pretty well even with the Terran player. You've denied their third. You've successfully killed all their drops. They're kind of contained to their base. You know, you kill half their army and you win. You're going to swarm in with this and F them in their A. So I'm kind of seeing the chat a little bit. Mostly trolls, as expected. I don't mind. Did I hear topless? You guys will have to watch the VOD to get the origin of the name. I said it at the beginning of the episode. It's genius, really. All you guys are here because of the word topless. Like, it could be me, like, this is going to be the new front page of Topless Analysis. That, it's going to become a huge internet thing. Just me, my nips. This too. Remember, when the bra comes off, so let's go into the third and final replay for the burrowed banelings. And this one is going to be between Lucira, I am Lucira, and I am MVP. Korean powerhouses on Metalopolis. Speed this shit up. Spawning close air. For those of you who missed it earlier in the episode, I was talking about the World 3 Gaming Tournament, which is going to happen on November 13th. The link to the thread on Team Liquid is on my Twitter. It's at ToplessAnalysIs. Go check that shit out. I believe the tournament is full, but you can still sign up, and if anybody drops out, there will be space available. It's a 32-man single elimination best of 3 tournament. Standard, 15 hatch into a pool. And really, Zergs only have like 2 build orders. It's either pool first or hatch first. On the rare occasion gas first. It looks like MVP went for a Reaper build. So we've seen 3 different things happen in these games against Zerg. And it really kind of shows how dynamic the opening of ZVT is. We've seen, in the first game against Straylock, we saw Hellions. 6 Hellions just sitting outside his base, waiting for a drone to move out, some lings to move out, whatever. Keeping him contained. And because of those 6 Hellions living, Straylock was able to throw down an early third, which is something that Terran players need to take note of. If you keep your harassing units alive, like your Reaper, like your Hellions, like your Banshees, then I don't see why it's such a big deal getting an early third. I think that if you've done any damage at all, like this thing only has 4 kills, but it's still alive. If you have this Reaper in a push of like, a little mini push of 8 Marines and 4 Hellions, this thing's gonna be fucking owning shit. It's gonna be chucking bombs at spines, it's gonna be 2-shotting lings. You could even sneak in with it while you're elevatoring? Is that a elevatoring? I just realized now that the camera's on me and not on the game, but this Hero Reaper with 4 kills. So yeah, way to get off topic. Standard. Well, actually, it's not as standard as it has been. MVP tends to favor a mech style, whereas Straylock and Select both go for kind of a Marine tank type thing. But you'll see MVP doing his normal mech style, but MVP kind of does it better than other people. He sprinkles Marines in there in order to get the most efficiency. Lucira sees this, goes for a Baneling bust. I don't know, it's not the best decision. Especially when the gate's down and you blow them up on the depot ring. No, I don't actually think he killed anything. Now he does, because he killed off those customers, but he plays pretty all in. He actually evens out the workers kill cap, goes down to 9-9. Easy peasy. But then there's no way he's breaking this, and Commanders just lift it off. I think it's just a matter of time until MVP defends this. For Terran players out there going for a mech style and they're kind of suffering from defeat at the hands of early Zerg aggression, this is a really easy way to deal with it. Basically, get siege mode, throw down some shit behind your other shit. Like, that didn't even kill that depot. Now, this wall is disappointing, but anyway. Throw your shit down behind your other shit. Siege up your tanks. Build some bunkers. Easy peasy. I know everybody's like, this isn't about Baroque Banelings. Where are the Baroque Banelings? But I'm just gonna want to watch this because 2 really high level players doing some cool shit. This is very sneaky, but unfortunately I don't think he really pulls it off. He just lost a Zergling right there. What you'd need to do is send these in and then trigger this siege tank shock cannon by throwing one of these Zerglings in there at the exact right time so that it absorbs the 1 shell and then these hit. But I don't know if anybody's capable of doing that. Unfortunately. Behind this, Lucira takes his 3rd. Hey. Macro hatch after his 3rd, which is perhaps indicative of the fact that he is Korean? I'm not sure. Really, I'm not sure what that means or if it means anything. Perhaps he just saw the opportunity to take an earlier 3rd than an earlier macro hatch. Beat the shit up. Player finishes. Baneling speed gets researched. Roach horn gets thrown down. That's because he's playing against mech. So we'll take note of the timing here. It's 12 minutes in. You would normally see a number of mutas being researched. Or not researched, fuck, you can't research mutas. But your spire would be down, and then you'd see a bunch of mutas being produced, and then the burrow go down. Like, I would just want to emphasize that. I just want to emphasize that. I want to emphasize the fact that burrow goes down after your muta production has begun. And that is because priority, especially in close air position, goes on the mutalisks. A little push here from MVP. How is Lucier going to handle it? Bailing, always a wise decision. Ouch. That's cost efficient. I guess he's just kind of waiting for that bailing speed to finish. I don't think you can successfully kill this push without bailing speed. I really don't. Here we go. Oh, it turns out I was totally wrong, and he completely crushed that push without bailing speed. He just needed more bailings. Burrow finishes. Let's see what happens here. Burrow them? Can you burrow them? Come on, Lucier, burrow those fuckers. Let's get him to third. Make sure that doesn't go down too quick. I would say that Lucier is like definitively ahead. He just crushed the push. He is on 3 base versus his opponent's 1 and fresh 2 base. This is kind of an older replay, so MVP kind of didn't play that style that he now is famous for, the 3 early command centers. Okay, what's the problem here, folks? These are not dynamic. These are just burrowed banelings. And honestly, if you scan these are in range of that same scan. You throw it here, you catch them. You throw it here, you definitely catch them. You throw it here, you probably still... Like, the only way you'd catch these is if you scanned, like, here. And then you just catch these 2, and then you walk onto these and lose all your shit. Now, while this is cool, it's kind of coming back to that point that I made earlier, that if the banelings are just laid anywhere haphazardly... I mean, obviously these aren't too haphazardly, they're along an attack path. But if they're just laid down, you know, the audience is kind of just left like, oh, is he gonna walk over them? Or not? And then when they get scanned and killed, it's really kind of disappointing. Whereas with dynamic banelings, if the casters catch it, that shit is like the most exciting part of StarCraft 2. Super late spire. This is like, I think Lucier was expecting more of a mech play, just because, you know, MVP did get that blue flame for his helmet. Comes around, no third. There's not even a third orbital command center anywhere. Another burp. Push. Walk over them. Even now, I know what's going to happen, and I'm still like, oh shit, is he going to walk over those banelings? And then he just goes the complete opposite direction. We have 3 sets of burrowed banelings just wasted. How tanks and marines, no medevacs. Interesting. Yeah, he's going right along the other way. So, where's the burrowed banelings going to be? Burrowed banelings! Terran players are always going to scan when they're attacking a Zerg player. Why? Because creep is super bad for them. Yuta is doing a bit of harassment, blah blah blah. Kills a Zerg. Sees that there's a ton of stuff. Pulls back, spreads out. Zero successfully kills it. Oh shit, while that was happening and I missed this was the whole point. Sorry, not the whole point, but this was the one exciting moment. So we're down to 1 set, so we obviously caught the other 2. Oh, you can see that blue mass moving out from the base. Yes. Yes. Oh, and this is the point. I know everybody's like, stop fucking pausing it. But this is the point this is the point at MLG or IM or whatever where, you know, some Zerg player's like so far behind, and he's got these 2 burrow banelings, and the Terran player's moving forward with like just a ridiculous force of like 800 Marines and 50,000 tanks, and the whole audience is just like, is he gonna move over those? And even the casters are like, and everybody's just silent, and then it's so bloody and gory, and all the Marines are just dead from the fucking goop that emits from exploded banelings. And unfortunately, of course, that was like 6 Marines for 2 banelings, which is still cost efficient, but not as epic as I think the 17 for 4 that happened in the Strelog versus Stefano game. So I don't know. I guess I take back what I said earlier. Dynamic banelings are fucking awesome, but the landmines are also really cool. Just perhaps not as strong strategically. So yeah, that's the segment on burrowed banelings. When you're attacking a Terran army, okay, how can I do this? This toilet paper is the Terran army. This is you. You got 2 bananas, because Zerg has more stuff, generally. Terran army's walking along, and you're like, fuck you, and you attack them, and you're like, arr, bananas. This just came to me right now. I swear to God I didn't have this planned out. This came to me right now, but you're like, you're the Zerg army, and you're like, I gotta fuck this Terran push. Meanwhile, while you're fucking it, your second little tidbit of detail is your banelings. They're like, you know, just getting fucked. And you're like, and you put this banana in the ground so that when this shit, yeah, that's funny because it's toilet paper. So when this shit is done, the other banana is done, and the Terran army comes back for it, you know, the second part of that push, he walks over this shit and you kill it. Sorry, I need a third prop. These are your mutalisks. So, I think that is going to do it for the first part of the cast, or of the show, or whatever I'm doing right now. I guess fun with StarCraft. Stay tuned for some more shit. Hit me in the chat if you want to talk. Cool. I'll be RB.